Good morning. Oh, stay here. I do. Here we go again. Good evening, people. Good evening. Hear that? I said good morning, brother. Good evening, people. Good evening. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and today is Saturday. It is Saturday evening, December 18, 2021. As you can see the time there, it is 5:36 p.m. in the evening. And I was just, watching some videos. And I want to talk about several things. Yeah, I have my crew with me. Let me show you my gang here. That's Lily, the Havanese. She's always by mommy's side. Lavender. You can't hardly see him, but that's Lavender. And little Lilac. Yeah, it's her with the funky haircut. Yeah. Yes, we're all here in the big easy chair in the living room. And I just want to, well, I was just motivated to do this video as a result of, well, I had picked up my iPad that was near me. I had to look up something, and I saw that this YouTuber that I just recently uh, discovered, maybe a week ago now, she had uploaded a video last night, sometime yesterday, I should say. And I didn't understand the title name, but she talked about within the what I call the alphabet soup people. Yes, good morning. Good. I did it again. So keep saying good morning. Good evening out there. Good evening. I hope the audio. Hope you can hear the audio well. I don't have the my microphone piece on, but I hope you can hear me. Okay, let me try to bring it up towards my mouth, closer. Yes, yeah, this is in my living room. Um, I do have a little light on, at least, to try to put more light in here. Yeah, I don't feel like being on camera. Kind of look kind of. I don't want to be focused on what I look like. I want to be focused on the content, the words. So that's also why I do this. But I hope your day, your Monday, I'm sorry, your Saturday is doing well. I guess I can't wait for Monday. I don't know. But yes, this is a Saturday evening and very relaxing day for me. I did go out with my pack. We went to the park, and yes, I had to bring out my rain gear. When I initially went out, I saw it was drizzling, so I came back, put on my rain gear, and head back out confidently. Just did my circuit and came back. Oh, I did buy some groceries. But yeah, I want to talk about a few things. As I say, I got distracted again about the video, the new YouTuber that I found. She talked about the alphabet soup people, and in particular, um, the D as in David, meaning down low people. And I didn't know what a D was or DL was, the name, but I knew about them. I just didn't know what the letters meant for a DL. I want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about I did write in the description about health. Yeah, I want to talk about health and politics. So I like to put it up front. So help me remember. I don't I don't script this. Yeah, I want to talk about the health, my health in particular, health in general also. And this video I was watching, it's like a discussion about plant-based, plant, vegetarians, veganism, and this is an old video. That this is, let's see, April 4, 2019. So that's some years ago. Yes, it's December 18, 2021 right now. Sit down, Lavin. Don't go. Don't go. Every time, see, that's my little boy there. Every time the neighbors get up, he wants to get up too. He wants to get up. You can hardly see him. Yeah, too bad the camera doesn't film well in dim lighting. Okay, back to what I was saying. What was I saying now? Yeah, so I want to talk about different things. The DL, I want to talk about this nutrition thing, vegetarian or veganism. Yeah, I tried both. Um, and just like in general, New York politics, very confused. See, everything kind of overlaps. You know, this man is a doctor, and he's going to have on next um, the Brooklyn Borough president. Yeah, we had a black Brooklyn. Yeah, in New York City, where I live, New York City makes up 5 boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Bronx. Okay, and just the things that I'm seeing with the different boroughs and all that. And so I want to try to tie this all in the health and general wellness and the politics that's plaguing New York City. So I want to first talk about health, and as it pertains to my health. And I initially was going to call this video, this live stream here, um, Why Me video, or the contradictions of life. Are you a type of individual that you try to do the right thing, but somehow it just doesn't appear well? I've always been health conscious. I used to live, uh, we had someone who had a chronic health condition. And you see from how certain health conditions progresses, and how it seems to progress a lot within the black community, which I'm a member of. Diabetes plagues, diabetes and heart disease is prevalent in our community. Um, I try to eat the right foods, and guess what? Um, I have this. Well, I get dizzy, vertigo, and I had a very big episode. Vertigo is when it like it's more than just dizzy. That like the room is moving. You know, it starts spinning. The room, you know, what you see, it's everything's spinning and you're dizzy. That's vertigo. And I have the type of vertigo when, like, let's say you're lying down, and I like sleeping on my side. And then it's when you want to turn over. When you turn over on the other side, let's say, the room starts spinning. You are dizzy. Well, that happened to me. And a really big episode happened in 2018. Not only just the room moving, but my body felt weak. I thought maybe I was having a stroke. There was something going on. I had gone out the day before to a celebration, a wedding, actually. And I went to bed late. You know, I stayed up because I was so excited from the wedding and happily excited. And I just couldn't sleep, so I stayed up, watched movies, and fell asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning, got up at 7, and I knew something was wrong. To this day, I'm not exactly sure what, uh, why it lasted. The condition that I had lasted for months. Something was going on in my body. Well, either way, I had another vertigo episode this summer, this May of 2021, and in I went to the ER because see, not only I had the vertigo, but I almost fainted. I started like blacking out and grabbed on something before I could fall on the floor. It was really that quick. So that's why I went to the ER just to make sure, because both of them happened together. Um, I said, hey, there's something else going on. And then them doing checking me over, and they did a CAT scan and an MRI. They saw a blockage, what looked like what we call an aneurysm or aneurysm forming. Um, it it um, it was partially blocked. They said about 5% blockage, and I said, well, I don't think 5% blockage would be the cause of why I almost fainted and the vertigo. They said, we agree with you, but they never went further to try to find out why uh, the blacking out. And I was going on the internet to find out what's going on and what it could be. And I did find something that seems to suggest um, neck instability. My neck, yeah, I've been having severe neck pains. I've told you guys this, yeah. I used to do more videos, edited videos, but in doing so, I was getting severe neck pains. The position of my neck when I'm on doing my work was causing me such pain. So I'd rather just do the live videos so I don't have to edit, I don't have to have my neck in some position. I could, be more relaxed. So that's why I do the live stream also. Okay. So um, what was decided that I would come back in 6 months, get another what do you call it? MR. What do you call it? I think a. Come on, let's go back on. Come on, let's go back on. It seems to be buffering again, but I don't want to go try to speak if it's not working properly. Come on, let's go back on. You know what I should do? I should put my, let's see. Come on, let's go back on. Hey, hey, hello, Cassandra. Good after, or good evening, good evening. Yes, good evening. Yes, welcome to my channel. I'm not sure if I've seen your name before, but welcome. Sorry, my it was just buffering. It was just buffering here. Okay, now I'm back up. Yeah, yeah, my computer was just buffering right now. So let me begin again. Yeah, yes. So yeah, I'm talking about my health, but I want to talk about. I'll be talking about my health and some politics. And I'm going to try to bring this all in, everything here. Okay, so I got a follow up from the dizziness and almost fainting in my house. What's that? That was about a month ago, and sometimes like you get the test, and then you still have to make an appointment to see the doctor for them to go over the report. So that might have been maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So they basically, well, what was different about this follow up, yeah, and I'm a veteran. I go to the VA hospital to get my tests and all that done since it is free. And every time when you go to the doctor, specialist, whatever, I mean, I have my primary care physician, that's always the same. But anybody else, keep seeing multiple people. And so there's really the the doctor really doesn't get to know their patients, even though you make the appointments and make an appointment to see me, blah blah blah, and you do that, and you always will see someone new. So they really don't know you. They're disconnected. That's my major concern about a major concern with the VA hospital, how it treats its people. So, um, so what was different in this session, the doctor who was like a, what do you call it? Like an intern. Let's see. He said, "Hey, have you seen the CAT scan? What it looks like?" I said, "No," and he gladly showed me it. And it's it's the first time a doctor ever showed me uh, the results of a test. And I think he showed it to me to show me the seriousness, potential seriousness of my condition. And this is important. Um, so I have uh, a plaque forming in an artery, my carotid artery. And I'm wondering, I said, boy, say to myself now, how did this happen? I am someone who's always talking about health, the importance of drinking water. I drink my water, and I have my other water right here. Let me get my other, this thing here. This is like my little tonic. I have the little cinnamon and ginger, other stuffs. Things that help promote certain wellness in my life, you know. Um, how did this happen? So, yeah, he showed it what it looks like, and he wants me to go on what they call statins. Statins are drugs, pharmaceuticals that lower cholesterol levels. Now, let me tell you this. I'm very much into. Um, I do take a lot of supplements. I uh, I I prepare my foods at home. I do on occasion eat out, but basically I buy my groceries. Yeah, I prepare my own food, and I do buy supplements. I have multivitamins, minerals. Uh, I I did let's see, buy you know in separate bottles, liquid minerals. Um, why I do that? Because of the COVID, like the zinc, magnesium, manganese. Now, these are things that, could be low in people's diet. Even though you might eat, a so called balanced meal, you could be mineral deficient. And I think I'm mineral deficient because I really don't eat a lot of meats. But I am anemic. I've always been anemic. Our red blood cell count is always on the lower side, but not severely low. Not severe, but just below the minimum. And it's always been that way. And it's still that way, even though I'm postmenopausal. Yes. So my doctor didn't know why uh, I'm still a little anemic, being that I don't get my monthly, what they call monthly, your period. I don't get that anymore. So I did get check the, what do you call it? Uh, col- Colonoscopy. What do you call it? Colonoscopy, and everything was fine. She wanted to make sure, rule out if any internal bleeding, and they couldn't find anything. So I wanted to try to be proactive with my life. Yes, hello, viewer. Yes, I try to be proactive with my life. So I said, hey, let me take, because I really don't eat meats, a lot of red meats. And the red meats have more iron in it, because of the, it's red meat. Um, so I took it over a 2 week period before. This was a couple of years, maybe 3 years ago I did this. 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I said, let me go on a meat binge. Let me buy some red meats and eat it for like 2 weeks. Maybe this might build up my blood. But I had a side effect. Yeah, I started bleeding. And again, I'm uh, postmenopausal. I had like what you call spotting. And I was scared. And I stopped eating the meat. Okay. And my body felt like, went back to whatever it used to do. I mean, it seemed to fix itself after I stopped eating the meat. And then I did it again this year. I bought in some, I think, organ meat. And I did this just for maybe a week. And I did have a blood test then. And for the first time in my history that I could recall, that my RBCs were at a normal range, but low normal. But I was still excited because I've been trying and trying to get my red blood cell count higher. So I also take iron tablets as well, um, and also take the liquid iron actually. I don't take it every day, but briefly, the count was good for the first time, and then I had to go back to the doctor again this year. I go twice a year. And so the second time, so the second lapse, it went back to the old thing again. And not only did my RBC count go low, I mean, went um, slightly anemic, but my cholesterol went high. But overall, let me see. Okay, let me try to explain though something. Um, Even though my cholesterol levels had went up, is considered high, but the ratio of the cholesterol to my HDL, I don't want to talk too technical, but either way, like with cholesterol, you have other variables to consider. In short, like if you have high of something, like the cholesterol, but if you have this other component in your blood, it kind of balances out. So overall, everything balances out. But I am still concerned that the fact that my cholesterol level had gone up. And the only thing I can think of what made my cholesterol level high um, was the eggs I was eating. Yeah, I didn't want to eat any of the. I guess because of the incident with the when I ate the meat for 2 weeks a couple of years ago, and I started spotting. I was afraid for that to happen. Um, but I wanted to get more protein because I go out all the time. I do my walks with my dogs, and I noticed that my body gets real tired. Like I'm in my, like I'm lying down right now. These are my little doggies. Yeah. So I would get like, I walk like from 3 to 4.5 hours every day. I have the stroller and I push them in the stroller, and I get my exercise. Sometimes, we go up hills and things like that. So my muscles and my legs and my arms, sometimes you feel it. And when I get back home and I prepare my dogs their meals and then I prepare mine after everything's done, I sit down. I don't want to get up because I'm exhausted. So I'm thinking, man, why? I mean, why does my muscles like? It seems like the more exercise I do, the like I thought maybe I wasn't getting enough exercise. So that's also why I try to stay out a little longer. Maybe my body just needs more activity. Well, it seems like more activity makes me more tired. I don't. I want to be very honest to you people. Very honest. See, a lot of YouTubers, they come out here and they make it seem like, wow, they got it everything together. And so I start to wonder, hey, how come it's like this with me? I don't want to put this channel is called Spirit Journey. It's not called cut and paste and make just to select the good things and make a collage of all things perfect. I want to be real because see what I'm going through, other people might be going through. So I want to other people to know they're not alone and to try to come to some understanding and how to make things better. Maybe people could tell me, hey, Spirit Journey, maybe you could try such and such. My little doggy. I'm sorry. My little dog, she's come in. You can lie down. You need a lie down? Go ahead. Sorry. Just moving the dog, yeah. Yeah, she was on my lap. So I just moved her over. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this family time. So I find that the more physical exercise I do, the more tired I get. Exert like your muscles are tired. Um, it's frustrating for me. So with these lab reports, these recent lab reports, so I'm anemic again. Okay, I mean, but not severely anemic. Even though I take supplements and I do take on occasion my iron pills, even when I was taking every day, it didn't budge. My RBC levels never budged. It stayed the same for years. Um, what else? Okay, the cholesterol. The only thing I can think of with my cholesterol, why did my cholesterol levels go up? It's always low. I have very, I still have high HDL. That's considered the good cholesterol, um, and it's still good. The ratio between the cholesterol and the HDL and the LDL, the ratio is healthy range, but it's still concerning me that my cholesterol levels went up. And the only thing I can think of with my cholesterol level going up is that I was eating eggs. And as I was saying before, that I didn't want to buy the meat again because of that thing that happened with the spotting. But I wanted to get more protein. I do not take any soy products because that's not my doctor told me avoid all forms of things that have estrogen in it or soy products. It feeds fibroids, and if you've had that, women, you don't want them. So I avoid anything with estrogen or estrogen-like properties in them. Um, but I need to get the protein. So I said, okay, I'm going to buy eggs. So I buy organic eggs. Yes, hello viewers, welcome, welcome. You can say hello in the chat room. So I bought my organic eggs. I love eggs. It's easy to prepare, and I just assumed maybe uh, that I was like eating 2 eggs to 3 eggs a day. But I notice with me, when I do things like this, whether it be a particular food or supplement, whatever, I do it for a season. And all of a sudden, my body just says, I don't want this anymore. And even when I was taking the eggs, I just didn't want to take it anymore. So that might have been, again, it's like 2 weeks. See, it seems like with me, 2 week period is like the maximum for me at times, you know? Um, so I'm wondering whether eating the eggs, even though they're organic, I'm wondering whether this contributed to my high cholesterol levels. Um, so that was discovered that the high cholesterol levels was also, let's see, that was reported in May or June of this year, 2021. So on and off, I to try to work out the cholesterol levels, to try to lower it. I was taking this supplement called psyllium husk. Psyllium husk, it's a plant. It comes from a plant, and it's like a powder, and you add it to water, and it gets thick. It has soluble and insoluble fiber. The insoluble fiber gets in your blood system, and it decreases cholesterol levels. That's why I was taking it. And the fiber helps with regularity. I take it on and off. Some weeks are better than others. So I better take it today, folks. Remind me at the end of this live stream, take your psyllium husk, spirit journey. Yeah. So so I am surprised that it's still high, even though I was taking preventives, the psyllium husk, drinking my water, walking. The CAT scan, the second CAT scan that was taken of my what looks like the aneurysm forming, it stayed the same. They said they said it did not change, and they want me to go on statins. Now I want to avoid taking statins because of the side effects that statins can cause, and I just didn't like. Um, I think I will go get a second opinion. That's what I was saying to myself earlier today and yesterday. To get a second opinion about treatments of what do you call it, plaque, arterial plaque that I was forming in my carotid artery. And the carotid artery is in the neck. It's close to the head, people. And the concern is that a piece of the plaque, because it's not stable, can get in your head, in your brain, and you could die from that. So of course that concerns me. Yes, hello, viewers. Good evening. Good evening. I hope you all can hear me. You can say hello in the chat room. Okay. Okay. Come on, let's go back on. Okay. Okay. It's. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I don't see the counter going on. Let's see. Is it on? Testing, testing, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's back on, people. Okay, I have to turn this off. Okay, so the stream is back on. I apologize for that. Okay, so what was I just saying now? Yeah, so I try to take precautions, and this is a potentially very serious concern to discover you have plaque. Um, Overall, my diet is mostly plant-based, but then as I shared with you, was that 2, 3 years ago, I had this red meat diet. I mean, I included red meats for like the first time in my diet for a 2 week period to try to improve my red blood cells to build up my blood because I felt tired. And then this year, 2021, I didn't want to do the binge of the meats, the red meats. So I said, I want to try eggs. But now I discovered I have high cholesterol. And I'm wondering what caused the plaque. Now, the plaque that I have is a 5% blockage, and that is not serious, 5% blockage, but the fact that I have it, and I'm concerned about the position where it is. And again, I found out about this by a fluke. I found out about the plaque or the what looked like an aneurysm according to them um, because of something that happened. I had the vertigo. Again, as I mentioned earlier, a vertigo is when it's like the room starts moving, like you're lying down. I have a benign positional something, vertigo. It's when like you're lying down and then you turn over, and then in the process of you turning over, everything starts spinning. That's what I have. And it seems to be aggravated when you're dehydrated or you start, um, your hydration status, they said, affects this. So that's why I'm always talking about drinking water. So I try to get my water to um, manage the vertigo that I get in the morning. So that particular morning in May of 2021, this year, um, I had noticed that the vertigo, I was getting a little vertigo that morning. So I get up to get some water and to bring water for my dogs. And when I bent down to put the water down for my dogs, to this day, I don't know why I did it this way. But when I placed the water down, I had one hand holding the bedpost and the other hand putting down the water bowl in my room. But for whatever reason, I put my head to the side. I turned my head to the side as I bent down, and whoa, I almost blacked out. I almost, and I gra- I had I had put down the bowl, and then turned the head aside, and then I was gonna faint, and I used my other hand and grabbed the bedpost and pulled myself up before I fall on the floor. Yeah, I couldn't believe that happened. So because of those two separate incidences, that is this. Okay, looks like it's back coming back on. Okay, it's back on now. Sorry about that, people. Okay, so let me begin again. So because those two elements happen, if it was just the vertigo, the room spinning, I wouldn't have gone to the doctors. But when I almost collapsed on the floor, I said, that's something. So I went to the doctors. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's buffering. Yeah, we lost some of you guys watching. But anyway, um, it happened. And so they did the tests, the CAT scan, and they did the MRI. And that's when they saw that I had the what looked like an aneurysm. So yeah, it was kind of scary. I was a little scared. Yes, I was scared, all right. So so why do I share this morning? Okay, why do I share this information this morning? Well, I feel the whole point of my channel is really to be open and to share my experiences with others. See, No one, my life is not perfect. And I want other people to know that anything can happen to them too. And each one teach one. Each one teach one. And you guys, yeah, you guys could teach me something. I don't know everything, but I like to share certain things with me. Um, to let you know that hey, certain things you should be careful about as well. So even though um, I consider myself someone who is conscientious about what I eat. I prepare most of my foods, um, and on occasion I like eating bagels on occasion, um, and sometimes I might have let's see, I don't really have red meats. Um, I get chicken though. I've been buying organic chicken, the whole chicken, a fresh whole chicken. I just bought one today. I'm going to prepare it um, 1 or 2 days from now. Um, yeah, I don't think my eating those eggs, those two 2 weeks. In fact, they said, I see. When I got the information, yeah, today, yesterday, I was watching a lot of videos how to correct arterial plaque in the body, um, and some other conditions about your vagus nerve. Because I think I also have. I think the thing that's causing me my dizziness and the blackouts. Um, I think it's with the vagus nerve, and I did tell my doctors about that to possibly check for that. Um, I start to ask myself, is this what's happening? Can just eating eggs cause this? Well, some of the videos on arterial, arterial plaque. Um, what is the cause of it? They said that the human body produces cholesterol, and that cholesterol is a necessary component in your system. It in itself is not poisonous to your system. However, when the cholesterol, the LDL in your blood, when it oxidizes, that is a problem. And there has to be another component in getting uh, plaque buildup in your arteries. And that, people, is inflammation. So all these years, I would get blood tests and have an excellent blood reading. I mean, outside of this slight anemic, but I mean my cholesterol level, my HDL, LDL, cholesterol has always been good. So what has changed, people? What has changed in all this? Um, I would say, okay, I don't think it's the eggs per se, because the videos that I was watching on about arterial plaque, there has to be inflammation in my system. What's causing inflammation? See, without inflammation, the plaque can't adhere to the walls of your arteries. There's an injury that happens in your vessels. And in the presence of the cholesterol, um, it then adheres to it. So it has to have an injury first. What did I do different that is causing inflammation in my body? Okay, that I think that is the question. What is causing inflammation? Pretty much my lifestyle for since for years is pretty much my routine is pretty much the same. I've been going out doing, one thing I would say has changed is the stress from this pandemic. Yes, this pandemic has really been something. Um, it had put severe anxiety on me on a few occasions. Um, I had a family member that died uh, this year, over the summer in July. This family member passed away, and then last year someone got sick. There were several relatives that passed away. Um, so I was like anxious. You bet I was. I'm human, guys. I'm human. Come on. Okay. Let me see. Okay. It's going back on. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, this live stream, certain things they don't want us to discuss, and it starts to buffer. Okay. So inflammation, people, is a serious issue, and stress. I perceive that the stress that I was going through this year. Um, I don't know. That's what the. I have to back up a little bit. Yes, stress this year is stressful for me, but my family member passing came after the diagnosis of the what looked like an aneurysm. But stress is stress. Stress, with this whole lockdown and things like that, um, has been getting to me. Um, I also wonder, people, you guys have seen early this year. Remember, I was wearing the body cam. Remember that? I had built this thing, this uh, like a brace, like this thing that you wear around your neck, and you could attach your body cam to it. So I don't have to wear it on my arms, um, because it doesn't really fit on my jacket. If I have the wrong type of jacket on, it can't go on it. So I built something. I sold this thing, and you could wear it on your neck. I'm wondering whether um, having an electrical device, I'm wondering whether the frequency or something of it, whether it might have contributed to the irritating um, my neck. This is what I'm thinking. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I know I wore it, and and coincidentally, I stopped using it. I think in September, but it's just recently I just started thinking the correlation. I used to wear it earlier this year. My camera. Remember, I did um, the walks in the park with the body cam. Remember that? Yeah. I'm wondering whether that could have been the thing that irritated my arteries in my neck. But why wouldn't it be both sides? Okay. So I'm just trying to, just trying to brainstorm what it could be. Something irritated something, and that's where the plaque built up on. Um, Everything else with my arteries look fine. Everything's big and open. Um, but right there. Another thing, I'm wondering whether neck positions, like sometimes I sleep and my neck is not straight. I have the pillow or something and my neck is bent. I'm wondering whether that could have done it. Any of you guys could know what could cause this? I mean, my routine is the same. Basic routine is the same, whether your neck is, because I used to sleep on my stomach, and so my head would be turned, but it's flat, but it's turned. But now it's like I sleep on my side, and I'm wondering whether sleeping on your side and your neck is not. position straight whether this could attribute to irritating my my artery in my neck. I mean, I don't know what is causing. See. I don't want to. I have to brainstorm, and this is what's really weird. Of why I wanted to initially call this live stream. Why me? Why is this happening? Or um, if you're someone that's about health and wellness, okay, it looks like it's going back on now. So you okay now? Okay, it looks like it's back on. Sorry about that, people. See that? You notice when I say certain words, it starts to buffer. Okay, so I have to be careful. It could be coincidental. So this is important because see, when you have see, I think things just don't happen. It seems like life wants to when life wants to teach you something, it seems to show you what it shows you. It's telling me in this part of my life that you can try to do all the good things, all these things that promote wellness. You could still get sick. You could still get sick. But it doesn't mean to stop trying. Just imagine if I uh, would have continued eating the red meats and all the other stuff, lifestyle choices. I probably would have been in worse shape. So with this wellness thing, I have been checking out what I could use naturally to reverse the plaque that's in my system. Um, One of the things I saw was you take it on an empty stomach. What do they have now? Um, ghee. Ghee is clarified butter. They said to take the ghee, a tablespoon of ghee, and a half a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. They said do take this for about a week. They said even though it's ghee has a component in it. They said this is an medicine. Ayurvedic medicine, um, fellow from India. They said this could be used to treat and remove the plaque, or Um, so I tried it for the first time yesterday. Yeah, and then there's another thing I'm gonna try. It's similar ingredients, and also this lady, also by chance, is from India. This one you take. Let's see. Um, you utilize about again. I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing with you um, what I'm trying, what I learned about for myself, and I want to see how it works for me. So I'm not being a medical doctor. I'm not telling you guys or gals that you need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm just sharing what I'm doing to myself, what I'm learning about, and I'm going to try it on myself. But if any of you um, have certain concerns, you should always talk to your primary care physician, um, and find out what they can use for you. But anyway, what this person on YouTube shared, there was, were they a doctor? I forget what that status was, if they were actual doctor. But either way, um, you boil some water and you put in some fresh piece of ginger and garlic. I learned about this new cinnamon. I don't know the pronunciation of it, but it's spelled C as in cat, YLAN. Silent. I hope that's the right pronunciation. But either way, it's a type of cinnamon. It comes from Sri Lanka. It's not the usual. It seems like the most common cinnamon that's used in that you can get in the supermarket, whatever, is cassie, Cassi, cassie or cassia cinnamon, and a lot of that comes from China. That what I learned for the first time that cassie, whatever how you pronounce it, the more mainstream cinnamon that's used in the market could be, if you use too much, could be toxic for the liver. But the Sri Lanka or the Kylan, Cylan cinnamon, it it has a the component that could be problematic to to your liver is almost zilch, and it's relatively safe to use. So so she used that type. I have, unfortunately, I have the type that, the more mainstream cinnamon, and learning that too much of it could be toxic for your liver. So, so you learn things, people, okay? Because I have been using it in my teas, the regular cinnamon. So I'm now going to buy the Kylan or Silin cinnamon, since it doesn't have that component that could be toxic for the liver. Yeah, um, I have to order it online. Yeah, so so either way, you take a piece of the cinnamon, a little piece of cinnamon. She it's like rolled up in like a tube. She used like a 2-inch piece of the cinnamon into it. Let's see. So I mentioned, okay, the cinnamon stick, ginger, a little piece of ginger, about an inch piece, 1 inch, 2-inch piece of the ginger. You cut it up and you put in the hot water. Almost forgot, garlic clove, 2 garlic cloves. She crushed it first and let it sit out for 10 minutes before she put in the water. And you let it steep for a couple a couple of minutes, and when it starts to cool off, you can drink it. She said, drink that early in the morning, on an empty stomach. So I'm going to be trying that as well. Yeah, I'm going to try that as well. Um, yeah, and as for my doctor, um, it was a neurologist. Yes, it was the neurologist that I saw about 2 weeks ago, who showed me my lab results. My I'm sorry, my CAT scan result for the that blockage that I have. He's going to have me come back again in 3 months, because I told him, I said, look, I don't want to take the statins. The statin drugs could cause other side effects, and it didn't sit right with me to take something. They said, oh, it lowers cholesterol. And I said, well, if it's about lower cholesterol, you could use nutrition to lower cholesterol. I'd rather go that approach if it's about lowering cholesterol. But he said, well, it doesn't just lower cholesterol, the statin drugs. They said that it hardens the plaque. They said our concern is that the plaque that you have, it's not stable, meaning that it can break off. They said we want it to get hard. Use this statin drug to make it hard. I'm thinking if something could make something hard in your body, it could make other things hard in your body. It just didn't sit right with me, and it could cause so many other side effects. But I am very, very concerned about plaque anywhere in my body. Okay, um, so I want to get a second opinion. Definitely, I want to find a second opinion, another neurologist to look at the report, the CAT scan, and I can bring in the labs, also the blood labs. Um, See, it's not these pharmaceutical drugs that cause my problem. I want if food or if if whatever what it was that caused the irritation, I want to reverse that and combat and plaque buildup. So yeah, I want to maybe do prayer. What do you call I know this sounds silly. Um, to speak words of healing to your body. Yeah, I want to do that. To speak words of wellness. You talk to the part of your body that's not well, and you say, you're going to get well, and visualize your neck getting better. I want to try that also. Yeah. See, I feel that with the human body, that see your body is trying to tell you something, and it's like all of a sudden, like, why has my neck? My neck has been hurting now for a couple of years. Yeah, it's been hurting me now for about 3 years. Um, and it really started hurting when I was really getting into doing videos. That's when it started hurting. Yeah, around 2018, uh, my neck has been hurting. And then in 2019, I started getting dizzy. So that's also why I changed my format in doing how I do my videos. And I'm doing the live stream so I don't have to really, do any editing, you know. So these are concerns that I do have about my body. It's like you try to do the right thing. People, we can all try to do the best. Just like parents. You have parents who did everything for their kids. Everything. They 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 go on trips with them. They you know put them to brought them to the best schools, and their kids could be criminals. And do any of you know families like that? They did everything for the kids. They weren't in, what you call so-called ghetto people. These were just regular, um, middle, regular, people. They're not starving, anything like that. They're just regular people. And the kids can become criminals. I know, unfortunately, I know someone like that. So, so life could. So I wonder, what is life trying to tell me? What does it mean for your neck to hurt? I see. I think your body. Sorry. What I'm getting at is that your body could be talking to you. What does the neck symbolize, people? Tell me, what is your opinion? What does the neck symbolize? You've heard the expression, I stuck my neck out there. So it's like you're asserting yourself. You stick your neck out. And I notice when I walk, my neck is always forward. Yeah. It I think it's telling you something. Life is trying to tell me something. What do you think life is trying to tell me regarding my neck? What do you think? I think the part of the body is where you have your ailments. It's your body is trying to communicate. What are you trying to tell me, body? What are you trying to tell me, neck? What I know you're talking to me. What are you trying to tell me? These are questions. These are very important questions, people. Do any of you ever talk to your body? You have a pain in a particular place? So my little doggies are, yeah. See, they're right on me now. I have all three of them with me. That's my crew. Yeah, life is trying to tell me something. Or even like I told you guys earlier this year, I had put on my jogging shoes. I said, I was inspired by this person that I saw out in the park who jogs, very young black woman from Brazil. She was like in her 20s. very fit looking, petite. And I was so inspired by her going out jogging. I said, I want to jog too. I said, what if because I told you guys, I showed you guys that I have this stroller for dogs. You saw the green one, and you could use it for jogging. You could also use it for people, little children. You could put in there, and then you could jog with them in it. So one day I put on my jogging shoes. Um, I mean my jumping shoes, but you can run in them. I said, hey, let me put them on and let me jog to the park. So I was all excited. I said, I'm gonna see if I can jog with the dogs in it, to the park. So when I left the building that I live in, just before I left, they opened the door. The doorman opened up the door for me, and I saw it was drizzling. So I said, "Oh, I wonder should I go out? Should I go back in and get my rain gear?" I said, "Hey, let me just go for it," because I didn't want to, go back in my room and then I changed my mind about going out. So I'm just gonna go for it. Then look what happened. I Before I even started running, I was still on the property of the building, on the sidewalk. I made I walked a couple of feet, made a few steps, and then boom, that weirdo that was hiding out. There was a man hiding behind the gate, waiting for someone to walk by, and I think what happened, um, he was looking for me, and he leaps over the fence and starts to approach me. And I was backing up. I said, "Oh, I was saying to myself, oh my goodness, is this really happening?" So I backed up. I walked in a diagonal towards the door where I just got out from, and then my doorman opens the door, he steps out, and we stood our ground. And the weirdo stares at us, both of us, and then he walks away, and then he hid behind the wall, and then he eventually walked away. So it seems with me like this year is a year of why is this happening? So here I had the health scare that was diagnosed discovered in May, and then September 1st, that weirdo that was hiding behind the gate, waiting for me to come out. Yeah, I've seen the guy in the neighborhood before. He's a druggie, some real tall druggie fellow, drug addict. Um, but it's like when I try to do something new, something happens. So yeah, so now it's drizzling. The guy, that weirdo, was out there. So at that point, I go back inside. I thank my doorman for protecting me. Yeah, thank God for these doormen who do their job. I was very grateful, very very. And you know something, people. I really, why I'm sharing all this. I know I'm a little all over the place, but see, I'm seeing connections to things. I'm seeing connections. And what is a connection here? Well, that particular day on September 1st of this year, that doorman slash concierge usually works on a different shift. He usually didn't work this particular shift, but someone was out that week, so he was filling in, doing double shift. Okay, double shift. It was just so happened. And I think earlier that month, was it that was September 1st? So let's see, August. So it was, yes, in August of this year, 2021, the door was unmanned. I've been in this building almost 19 years, and The door's always manned. What happened? There was no one. And remember earlier this year, that's when I was going out early in the morning to do my early morning walks with my dogs. And I did that because it was getting too hot. Like if I leave regular time, when the sun is out, really out, it's too hot for me and my dogs to walk and we can get sick. And so that particular month, it was like really cool in the morning. I said, hey, this is the perfect time to walk. So that's why I got up initially, because it was some cool periods that month of August. So I said, hey, I'm going to go for this. So I was getting up early. My plan was to leave the house early, do our, couple hours out there, and get back by like 9 o'clock in the morning. So you still get to see people. It's light outside, you know, by the time you start to head back. So you're still getting some sunlight and everything on your way back home. And then that guy happened, that person that was hiding. See, people watch you. Evidently, people watch you. People watch you in and out. So I had to keep changing my hours. So it's like I try to be proactive with my life. Um, so I had to initially leave my house early so I don't get heat stroke. And then uh, people are hanging, I live in an area where we have more drug addicts now. And so that I have to alter my hours again. Okay. So it's like that particular day that weirdo was hiding behind the gate, waiting for me to come out. And nothing like that. I've been here for 18 years. Nothing like this ever happened. Ever happened. But the pandemic happened, so now you have a lot of people out of work, um, people stressed, and people doing drugs, I guess, to cope. That's what's happening now. And that is a stressor, definitely. And maybe that was one of the markers that caused stress in my body to cause the inflammation in my arteries, which uh, then with the cholesterol, it formed an oxidation and caused me a plaque. So everything's related. What happens in your environment affects you. But it's amazing that here, that September 1st was the day I was going to do my jogging with my dogs. See, she's dreaming. See that? She was just barking. That's my dog. He's dreaming. See that? I know it looks weird. That's my little boy. Sorry about that. Yeah, dogs dream and they bark in their sleep sometimes. That's what's happening now. So anyway, what I was saying. So September 1st, I had put on my running shoes and was gonna jog. That happened, and it wasn't that early. It was just 10 after 6 in the morning. That's all it was. It was just before the sun was to come up. Like the sun was going to come up just in a few more minutes, so I thought it'd be safe. It was like just slightly, this slight sunlight. It was very slight, but it was still dark. Um, but so I didn't do it. I didn't jog that day. What? So why do you think these things happen, people? Has this ever happened to you that you're going to try something and then something keeps interfering? Why? You start asking yourself these questions. See, I think things just don't happen, people. I feel almost like there's like an overseer watching. I'm not trying to sound paranoid. I'm not trying to, but I believe that life has overseers over your life. they watch you. Like I showed you, I proved to you guys before. You know, I have that security camera that I showed you that to take pictures of orbs. Remember that? Orbs exist. Orbs. I showed you them to show you that the physical world is not all that exists. Hear me again. The physical world is not the only world that exists. You have other consciousness slash beings that are out there. And I think some of the beings, not necessarily the orbs, but you have other beings that could interfere with the things that happen in your life. It's just too coincidental. Certain things. I mean that's not the whole thing. I mean the incident that happened, the guy hiding behind the gate waiting for me to come out. I mean anybody could have been walking that time, but it was just coincidental. And it was just coincidental that 5 minutes later, 5 to 10 minutes after that incident, that the school door opened. So you know that like the what do you call it? Like the superintendent of the building. You know, he was to open up because when I came back out with my rain gear now, since I was forced to go back in the building, I thought let me get my rain gear, and I thanked the concierge doorman to help me. I thanked him that he helped me. I'm sorry. Yeah, and again, it was coincidental. It was yeah, I remember. It was coincidental that my concierge of my building, um, he was on that he was on at that hour because he was doing a double because someone was out. That's why I got distracted there. Yeah, because the month prior, in August, the building had no one at the desk. So anyone, it happened 3 times that month in August. What if one of those days of that month in August that man was waiting out there? I would have been shit out of luck. I wouldn't have been able to get back in the building. Hear that, people? I would have been out. I wouldn't have been able to get back in the building. Even if the doorman, this is very important. And those of you who live in an apartment building that has a concierge or doorman, they better be at their post because things could happen in big cities and in small cities too. And if you're not able to get back in the building because it has to be open from the doorman because it's locked, you can't just get in the building. They have to open it for you. And if no one's at the desk and some emergency happens, you're out of luck. So this concierge, see, he's one of the better ones. He's the most senior of the doormen, of the concierge. Sorry, there is a doorman, and then there's the concierge, and he's a concierge. But at that time, he was doing both that day because it was only him. Yeah, it was only him on duty at that time at 6:10 in the morning. And um, but if he wasn't there, see, he's very conscientious, and we talk all the time. He's a really great guy, and he looks out for me. And he was looking. He said he saw everything that happened when the guy came out. I thought he closed the door, but he said no. When he said when I leave, I'm watching you as you leave. I said I didn't know that. He said yeah, I saw exactly what happened. And I said, oh, I thought that you had closed the door because when I was backing up and turned my head to try to signal to you, that's when I saw the door open. He says, no, I was standing right here, and He said he stood. I only saw the part when he walked to my side and stood his ground when that weirdo approached us, and then he backed off. Okay. Yeah, I'm very. See, he is a good guy. He's a good concierge person, very good, and he protects the people. And I was I was very fortunate. If what happened the month prior when no one was there, I would have been hurt. But life knew. See this, hear this, people. Life knew. I believe that I have helpers out there, and I thank you, helpers. I thank you for watching over me. I believe that there's things that supersede everything, and put him on duty that day because they saw ahead of time that this weirdo was going to come out and try to do whatever to me. They knew this temperament. Now I don't know whether the other guy, no, let me not judge. I'm sorry. But it was essential that this person, because see, he watches as I leave the building. He doesn't just open the door and sit down, he watches. See, what happened that quick. I just made maybe 4 steps forward from the door, and bang, the guy jumped over the fence and then started approaching towards me. He looked evil. God, it was spooky. So I am grateful that he was there. And yes, I bought him a nice little gift. I bought him a little angel crystal. And I said, I'm very thankful. I got this for you. Sorry about that, people. So you notice certain words I say seems to cause the buffering. But yes, as I was saying now before it started buffering, that's like, yeah, I was very thankful. I got him the gift and I explained the significance that the little girl crystal angel I gave him was that the angels symbolize for me uh, a protector of innocence. That she represents innocence. She and the angel is innocent, but he will serve as the protector. I was good. I wanted to get like a man angel, like an archangel. What was that? Gabriel or something like that. Gabriel. I'm sorry, Gabriel or Michael. Was it Michael? Archangel Michael or something. That's what I was looking for, but I couldn't find. I couldn't find that. But when I saw the little girl angel, it just resonated with me, and so I bought it. Yeah, yeah, it's very important that to say thank you when someone see it was just by chance because he wasn't there the day before, but that particular day he was on duty as I walked out of that building, and seconds later, not even 5 seconds, when I left that door, did that happen? Wow. It's just other things. See, there are a lot of things at play. Yeah. There are a lot of things at play, people, that go on. Let me try to refresh this. See, I have my computer on. See, it's buffering. Okay. It's buffering. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. See, it's gone. See, I have to see. So I turned it on to make sure, like, to see what it looks like on your end because it starts to buffer and sometimes the audio goes. So it helps me know what's going on. Okay, yeah. It's very important, people, to thank people when they're alive. Thank people when they're alive, when they do something good for you. He could have just sat on his behind and just walked, sit at, and other things were happening too. Some of them were sleeping, and those 3 days. Sorry, come on, come on, people. See, it's buffering again. It's buffering again. Oh, okay, looks like it's back on. Okay, it's back on now. So, yeah, you thank people when they're alive. Thank people when they're alive, and you tell them what they did for you, and to if you can give them a little something, a little gift, whatever. Because see, he didn't have to do his job, but it's interesting. It was that specific day that he was on that post, and it was the first time that he was on that post that time. Yeah, life is big. Life is big. And I feel that my whole life, I don't have I did not have a perfect life. But I'm not here for a pity party either. That is not the purpose of my even talking about this. I'm just trying to, understand how things relate to other things, that life happens, but I don't think what happens in life is an accident. I don't think it's an accident, life in general. I I feel that things are out there, um, and it's like a game of chess that people play. A game. Or people could see a couple of hours. See in the future, and then they present things to try to prevent certain occurrences. Why? I do wonder why. What happened to me just 2 weeks? Was that 2.5 weeks ago? Yeah, it was the day before Thanksgiving, and I got attacked by a woman, a young woman. That one I didn't see coming. See, sometimes we start to say to ourselves, "Oh, maybe we got like I used to be a Christian. Say, oh, you got hidden sin in your life, and something bad happened." Now that's to say, punish the individual, say that anything that bad happens to you because you're a bad person. Not at all. Not at all. Please don't put that monkey on your back. But I'm being honest with you. This is something that did come to my mind, trying to figure out why certain things happen. You know, um, yeah, that was really weird. Yeah, see, the climate now, the social climate now in New York City is one of, I mean, it's trying to come forward, but you have now a large influx of drug addiction, openly, open drug use. You have people who do the marijuana, since now that's now to be legal. Uh, if you look at the people in New York City who do the marijuana so openly, unfortunately, many of them are from my community, uh, meaning black people like myself. Um, be wary, people, of things that are now considered legal. Just because something now might be legal to use doesn't mean that it's good for you. Ask yourself, start asking you, does this make sense to you, viewer? Just because something is free, just because something is legal, does not mean that it's good for you. Did you know that uh, marijuana or cannabis is an estrogen? It has a type of estrogen in it, or estrogen like component to it. So it feminizes. What's happening in New York City? A lot of the black men are acting like women. Uh, And I wonder why. Why are such a large number? It's like all of a sudden. Yes, hello, viewer. Yes. Don't you ever wonder why there's a growing in large cities? New York City is a very large city, and why is it in particular that the young black American men are acting feminine? Is there a correlation between the cannabis that they're using and behavior? That is my first question. I believe also what could be a component in all this are the oops, I'm not supposed to say that word, the jibber jab that they require us to, people to take as children, the MMRs. I believe that, well, not just me, what's his name? Robert Kennedy Jr. He talked about how the jibber jabs that you get as children over the years seem to have a high incidence of autism. There's a strong correlation, it seems like a strong correlation in the jibber jab and autism, in particular in black males. And in addition, now seems to be a large number of men, black men acting like women, dressing like women. But it's not like they're trying to dress like women. They're out of their mind. It's their behavior. They act erratic. They could be cursing. They dress disheveled. These are people who seem to be, I'm not a mental health provider, but just my observation, they need intervention. Okay. And so, come on, people. Come on. Boy, I'm sorry about this. Okay, it's back on now. It's back on. Sorry about this buffering again. Yeah, so this portion of the live stream that I'm doing is going to be more about the politics. I already talked about my, health and everything, and some of the intervention that I want to do for myself. I'll get. I want to get a second opinion about the uh, plaque that formed in my artery. Um, Try to use these natural methods, non-pharmaceutical methods of reducing the blood cholesterol and the arterial plaque in my system. I'll give you updates on that as well. Now it's about the political aspect of this video. And, if you have friends and family members who want to hear about more politics, about, what's happening, um, in my awareness, you can let them know so they can join in. And your participation in this is open to you to discuss. I want to talk about the the different things. I want to talk about the politics in New York City. I notice now, like we had an election in November in New York City, and we're going to get a new mayor. We're getting a black mayor, and I think he also was the borough president of, what was it? Oh, I could be wrong. Of Brooklyn. It could, no, my mistake. Queens, my mistake. How could I forget that? Um, he was the borough president of Queens, and I am from Queens, people. Yeah, he's from South Jamaica, Queens, and but I live in the city, the heart of the city. But I'm born and raised in Queens. Went to public school, all public school in Queens, and then when I became an adult, graduated from high school, I started college in Manhattan, and I got my job in Manhattan. I'm a Manhattanite now, but I'm a Queens person. Um, well, we're getting uh, our second black mayor of New York City. I did discuss that before, but it's not so much about him. See, I was watching a video on health, and one of the guests was who will now be the mayor of New York City. Um, oh no, my mistake. My mistake. Okay, we have in the video I was just watching. Um, was the yeah. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my thoughts. In New York City, we have five boroughs that make up New York City, and each borough has a borough president, and and then you have a mayor, and then you have a governor of the state. Um, really weird. Now, New York, the state of New York, is a Democrat, especially New York City, is a Democrat city, heavily Democrat. I do not belong to any political party, but I tend to be more on the conservative side. I'm about equal. I want equal rights for everybody. I want crime. You know, people who do crime, them to be prosecuted. You know, to be off the street. I'm just I'm very basic. You know, um, but I'm wondering about the politics now. So when I was watching the video on health, it was on vegetarianism, veganism, and they had a guest on one of the. Um, he was the borough president of Brooklyn, and then coincidentally, my I'm filming right now on my iPad, and I saw that a message came on, so I clicked on it to see what it was. And it was a new YouTuber that I just started watching. I was a new subscriber to her channel, and it indicated that she just, you know, uploaded a video. And so when I saw it, um, she talked about the, she was commenting on the, I call them the alphabet soup people, okay? Um, and again, um, who you like, you know, what your orientation is, uh, between consenting adults is your business and your business alone. And I don't like to ask people about their business, their sexual business. I've never been that type of person, whether you're straight or curly. It's none of my business. But they were talking about in the video. Uh, Again, it was a TikTok. I'm new to TikTok. I do not have TikTok. Um, I don't really know what it is, but I know it's some social media. And the YouTuber was sharing a video that someone uploaded to TikTok. And the TikTok person was a man. It's obvious it's a man, but he's dressed as a woman. And he's talking about a particular lifestyle. Um, and the lifestyle is of men who are living a life as a heterosexual. They could be married, they could have a girlfriend, but on the side in private, they are engaging in same-sex unions. Okay, I want to try to be very tactful in all this. And so the man was arguing, you know, on TikTok that how come you don't, how come you condone their behavior? That you criticize the alphabet soup people, but the people who what they call DLs, down low, okay, uh, the DL for short for down low, meaning is a term that usually is a man who pretends to be a heterosexual, but he's really into same-sex people. Um, it's not okay. Um, I, I, I mean, I looked at the guy on TikTok. He just, I don't know. Again, the behavior. See, once lifestyle is their business, but I'm really concerned at. I mean, I don't know where that guy lives, but he sound like he's from. He could be from the Northeast also. Um, but it's a wild, angry behavior. And I have seen videos of people of men who dress like women, and they started to get violent on the train and started fighting. I mean, and the person was dressed like a high fashion model and attacking a man. And I knew right off, even it looked like a female, but something. I mean, people in New York City really don't dress that way, the women. Um, and so I think that's what really got your attention, how flamboyant they were dressed. Very, very high, very almost Grace like you guys remember the singer Grace Jones? Remember how Grace Jones used to dress? Real over the top. I mean, she dressed it very well. So she was dressed something like that, real, what was it, avant-garde? And I said, I don't think that's really who I think it is. And I was right. It was a man. The person did come forward to get to because of the assault. The person did get a lawyer in order to go to the police, turn themselves in. Why this aggression? Why, why, why do you think all this aggression is happening, people? And it's the aggression in people who, I mean, I'm just confused. Why are those who want to dress like a woman, why this extra aggression, this severe aggression? Um, what else I want to talk about? Um, Well, New York City now is going through a lot of changes. Again, with the pandemic, as I call it, uh, a lot of businesses that's been around for a long time, and newer businesses they're closed, and this also increased the number of drug addicts in the city. There's a lot of chaos, but it's slowly trying to come back. But what I notice now with the trend is the alphabet soup community amongst the black community in particular. Um, I don't I don't see it. I mean, it's hard for me to really express myself with this. It's just something so new to me. And now to find out, okay, like we get a black mayor, a new black mayor yeah, this is the second one in New York City history. Um, I'm concerned. I also was surprised that, see, I don't follow politics. I never have, really. Um, for 2016, yes, I did start to watch the politicians for the first time. Outside of that, I couldn't care less about politics. Um, I wasn't into it. Um, but I'm surprised that New York City. Well, we again we just elected a new black mayor. Um, I also was surprised that we had borough presidents. We had a Brooklyn borough president. Most most American blacks live actually in Brooklyn. They want you to think most of us live in Harlem, but that's not the case. Most of us live in Brooklyn. Harlem now is, I mean, Harlem always had it, it, it was a newer community. You know, the further up you go in Manhattan, it's the newer it is. The south you go in Manhattan, the older it is, the population, you know, the how long that town been around, you know. Right now you have a lot of immigrants, new immigrants that live in Harlem, but American blacks, most of us live in Brooklyn. And maybe that's why they had a Brooklyn borough president. But I didn't know that. Again, I don't really follow politics and all that stuff. What else? We have two other borough presidents. Again, we have New York City consists of five boroughs: uh, Bronx, Manhattan, uh, Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. Um, Bronx and what's that? Bronx. Oh, there's one other place. Oh, which one? Was it Brooklyn? Yeah, okay. I might have made a mistake. Okay. Um, there is a Queens. I think I said Brooklyn, but I meant to say um, we have a Queens. We have a black Queens borough president. But I think at one time we may have had also a Brooklyn a black Brooklyn borough president. The new election we also have in the Bronx and where else? Oh, I think the new one. Yeah, I think the new Brooklyn borough president is okay. Yeah, Bronx and Brooklyn are what he looks like. A light skinned black Hispanic looking fellow. Yeah, Hispanic background. They have a Spanish last name, but they look like light skinned black people, in my opinion. So they're black Latinos. So there is a black element of leadership in the current New York City political environment. But in spite of all that, why is there so much chaos? I want to be real, people, in this live stream. Why does it seem like when a city in America becomes when you start to have black representation in in elections, why does it not? Why don't black people do well in a city that is to be run by other blacks? For example, Chicago is head by a black female mayor. Okay. And I think there are other cities that have black females as a mayor. And why is it in chaos? I'm being real. I'm being real. I, I, I'm not trying to be rude. Oops, see, now it's buffering again. Come on. I'm not trying to be rude or insulting to anyone. I'm just trying to brainstorm. I don't understand why these things happen. I live in a big city that's in big trouble. You have a lot of young black people, young black men that aren't being given guidance. They wear bizarre, they don't know what they are anymore. They don't, they, many of them think that they're women, but they're men. They wear things that is not appropriate to wear if, let's say, they job hunting. Um, there seems to be a lack of professionalism. I recently had a bit like this dog. Okay, you see this doggy here? Okay, you can hardly see it, but see her hair's in different colors. Yeah. Um, I come on, come on. Okay, it's back on now. Sorry about that, guys. It starts to buffer. So when I talk about certain topics, it buffers. But either way, um, now it was just a couple of days ago. I went to the dog groomer. I made the appointment over the phone. Come on, you could come back on. Yeah, I went to the groomer, and the person that was to do my grooming was a black female. But guess what happens? It's unfortunate that you guys are not on right now. Come on. Yeah, yeah, I'm okay. Yes, I'm glad that you're back on. Yeah, sorry for all this buffering, people. Really apologize. It seems like certain topics they don't want us to hear certain things. Yeah. So let me begin with what I was going to say um, about the condition of Black America that I'm a part of. And I'm saying this to open our eyes, to awaken us, so we can be aware, so we can change what needs to be changed. Um, Even though the we getting more representation in the black community, in government. We already had we had a black president. We have a biracial president now. I mean, vice president now. We have um, a black. We're getting a black mayor in New York City. We have a Queensboro president. We have two Hispanic light skinned black men, borough presidents in New York City. So we're getting people of American black or Caribbean background, but the state of blacks in these large cities, even though they have representation, like in Chicago. Chicago has a black mayor, female. Why is it not doing well? And then what I was going to say before the buffering started, I recently got my dog, went to the groomer for this dog here. I made the appointment over the phone. I didn't know who I was going to get, but I was just sure that they'll do a fantastic job. It was between her or this other person, and it's okay. I use your suggestion. But guess what happens? And this is typical. This is typical. Um, so I get there. I got there early because I knew I had to do paperwork because it's the first time I'm using their stuff. I mean, using um, their services for grooming. I buy my food there, my dog food there. Um, I said I have an appointment with so and so, an 8 o'clock appointment. Um, so she says, "Oh, you can leave the dog with me at the desk, or you can wait until so and so comes in." So I had like 5 minutes. It was like 5 minutes to 8 o'clock in the morning, and my appointment was for 8. So I said, "Oh well." I said, "Oh, I guess I could wait. If she's going to be right here." And then it turns out she wasn't in. So I said, "When are they going to come in?" So she says, "Oh well, I'll call for you." Well, it turns out that the person forgot their tools. They forgot their equipment, and they had to head back home. Okay. Um, I don't know what that means. I don't know what those codes mean. You person who just put a comment down. You know. Yeah. I'm not as savvy as some people here. So if you're gonna say something, to be more, I don't know what those codes mean. Uh, YouTuber. I don't know what a VOA dot FYI. I don't know what that means. You have to be more specific. Yeah, if you just I'm not gonna say it. But either way, um, the person left their equipment to groom my dog's hair, but yet I was told that this was you know, the person's very professional, blah blah blah. So they're gonna be late for their appointment. So why, what I'm a little concerned of, if you know you're gonna be late, shouldn't you call the person and let them know that you're gonna be late? That's you don't have to say, "Oh, I left my equipment at home." You say, something came up. I'm going to be late. We could reschedule or whatever. I only knew until I got there. But because I wanted to, I said, well, if they're going to be right here, I could wait. But something, something told me, hey, what's really going on? And so she had to disclose, oh, she's not here, um, because she had to go back home and get her equipment and come back. So how it was resolved was the person at this store did my dog. Okay. Now the person that was scheduled to do my dog's hair, to groom my dog, uh, get a black female. And I had gone to another, to get service done. Like one time I went to get my nails done. Um, and again, it was a black American woman, and she's late. And she's making a big thing. Oh, I was late. I'm sorry, I'm late, and just going on and on. And she said, "Oh, can I have my lunch now? Can I eat? I'm hungry," and blah blah. Now you're very late, and then you're gonna ask to eat. And the woman, the owner of the store, was angry. She kept her anger. She didn't yell anything, but I got the impression that this woman, it's not the first time. I know that what I'm saying is that, see, even though we're getting blacks in New York City are getting more opportunities to work in industries that was initially um, shut out from them, we're not being responsible. We're not being responsible. We are. I find like the services, places like getting your nails done, I mean, not, let me see. I mean, other services, not necessarily the nails, but that was an experience that I had. Luckily, she wasn't the one to do my nails, another person. But it's a lack of professionalism. The person that did my nails on that particular occasion was a light-skinned black woman from Brazil, and she's trying to challenge me to something, um, and it was petty. We're what's happening. We're getting in positions where we're dealing with the public, and we don't know how to keep to our place. We try to challenge the customer. Maybe something you didn't like what was said, or something. But you have to realize you're there to do that client. Just do the client. Don't get in their business. Don't get in their business about certain things. Stop trying to challenge people and you're acting like a bully. A lot of us act like bullies. We're not acting professional. When we're late, we don't like to call. We get the jobs. We're getting opportunities in these new jobs, but we act like we're in contempt with these jobs. Do you understand what I'm saying, viewer? That it's almost spooky because it's like we get into positions and think, well, that's all we have to do. Just get in it, but not perform. There's a responsibility that we have to do when we decide to get in an industry, especially an industry that maybe historically we weren't allowed to go in. And then now that we're in, we're not being professional. We're not coming in on time. We're not performing well. There's no perfect person. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about being professional. I'm talking about being on time. Why aren't we on time? But when you want to get a check, all of a sudden you're on time to pick up your check. It's like you're showing contempt for the person that got you the job. That gave you the job. If you're giving a job, perform it. It's spooky. So why am I making mention of this? Well, most black people live in large cities, and in the large cities, we're getting larger and larger numbers, and you're also getting blacks from other countries, from Latin America, from Africa, all over the world. And so now there's more opportunities now. A lot of whites might be leaving the city, and then you get new immigration and new population, but there's a lack of professionalism, and there's bullying. I worked in retail once, and the black women were fist fighting at the job. And it always seems like when we're in these positions, when there's a large number of us working in an establishment, it's chaos. And I see the same pattern with leadership in government when you have us in there. We already have black and Hispanics from the Caribbean as borough presidents in New York that I didn't even know about. But yet the state of the black in New York is horrible, health-wise, social-wise. It's a wild behavior. And I'm concerned that it's going to turn in like, if it's not already like this, like a Chicago. We have Chicago. It's a good example. Chicago has a black mayor, a female at that, and what else? A member of the alphabet soup. So you have all these new demographics being represented in one person in Chicago. And Chicago is like the death pool of America. And I think Detroit also is the same thing. I'm not sure if you know, viewer, who's the mayor of Detroit. It could be another black person. So what when I'm starting to feel people that I'm starting to feel that the blacks that are in government serve as the um, Doberman Pinscher or pit bull over the black population. They're not there to help black people or West Indian people or Afro Latinos. No, I think they're to keep the status quo and to have you kill each other. Just look at Chicago. So even though you're getting black representation, well, what about the schools? What is she doing about schools? The school, education. Isn't education supposed to um, help society as a whole to educate its population? Why aren't they being educated to be able to maybe start their own business? But it seems like who's really being helped in America are newcomers from other countries. But the local population, local black or Afro Latino population, especially the black non Hispanic community, doesn't seem to be doing well. And I'm thinking that this ushering in a black mayor, the second black mayor of New York City history, I think this is not a positive sign, and that they're going to be used as the watcher, or you could call it like the new taskmaster, like in slavery days. You know who usually did the beatings during slavery days were other blacks. They used black people to beat up other blacks. And so it reminds me of that's what they're being used for. So yeah, get a black mayor and see what happens. It's not doing well. It's not doing well. What do you guys think? I know I'm doing a lot of the talking, and you can interject your opinion about what I'm talking about. I don't understand it, but it's just very telling. So, as I mentioned earlier in this live stream, what got me to do this live stream, a black YouTuber, a new YouTuber that I found, female, black female, and she does commentary on uh, America and the black population here. And she shared about what was happening with behavior about about black men who are actually homosexual, or maybe in this case bisexual. They're pretending to be straight men. They could be married, and then in private they're having uh, unions with the same gender, and their women don't know about it. That's very see. It's very irresponsible. It's a very irresponsible behavior to do that. Why? Because venereal disease. You think AIDS stopped because it's they're not really talking about AIDS? Well, you know that the jibber jab, as I call it, the thing you get in your arm, has the HIV component in it, and that's what's causing the low immune system in your body, and you're susceptible in getting colds, flus, and other stuff. people are getting tested positive for the HIV now. And if you have this dual life and your partner doesn't know about it, that is a problem. And you are infecting. See, you know what I really what you know what I really think what's going on with the um, some of the people in the black community who are acting like that, what they call DLs, down low. Um, I, I, I'm going to say it. I mean, again, what you like is your business and is your business alone. But if you're going to possibly infect people with diseases through your behavior, that is what that's all that I'm addressing. I'm not addressing your what you like. I'm addressing with what you do, and that it could affect other people. Um, I'm starting to think that there there's a hatred. I think among some black men in America that see the dynamics of the home has changed for the past 50, 60 years. I mean, my parents were married. Um, People of my parents' generation, they were all married. But it seemed like the 1960s and 70s, they stopped getting married. Everybody's shacking up. No one's married. And more confusion. And so now that it's the black home is run by a black female who has to get a job now and come home and do her job at home. And it's a lot of stress. And the men, the young male children are being disguised, not getting the guidance that they need and the stability. And I think they're taking it out on the woman, the mother. I mean, the mother's stressed out, and there's no real social services for the woman to go to for emotional help. They're really not there for her. And if you do go to a black therapist, they're just as foolish. It's really horrible, people. So she's stressed, the kids are stressed, the boys are misguided and angry. And I think that they're going into this alternative lifestyle because they want companionship. They want to be understood. And unfortunate, they're being recruited, some of them. And I think some of the behavior, some of their behavior might be, I think um, the jibber jab that these children are getting are affecting their behavior. In my opinion, there's a high incidence of autism amongst black children now, black male children in particular. And I think that it's altering also their orientation, and now the push for marijuana in New York City. Who do you see taking that marijuana? But other blacks. I very rarely see any white people doing marijuana in the street. I see black, young black men doing the marijuana. And marijuana has a natural, it's an estrogen acting component in it. It is a female plant, marijuana. And because of its high amounts of this estrogen in it, it is feminizing men. And I'm wondering whether that's what's happening in addition to get their behavior like that. But there seems to be an anger and a resentment to black men, black American men have against black American women. Why are we acting like we're enemies of each other? Who supported that young black man growing up but a black female? So I feel there should be more understanding. But I understand your frustration. I understand. You want someone there to nurture you, to love you, and but you also need that. There seems to be an anger of that many black men have against the black American woman. And I think maybe their alternative is the gay lifestyle, so they can meet up with other guys, and they just don't relate to the women anymore. I've been seeing videos on YouTube that I feel is designed to shame black women, and it says it talks about, oh, you know, you men should go to Brazil, and everything I notice in these type of videos about Brazil is about sexuality. Like, I mean, is life all just about sex? I mean, what about community? You can't just go to a place, oh, I want to meet these women in Brazil, whatever. You have to come home eventually. You have to get a job, and you have to be able to deal with the people where you are. And I did say in a comment with regard to Brazil that why, when you go over there, see, the American passport, regardless of your race, is a powerful one. And people assume you have an American passport, you have money. And blacks in Brazil are not doing that well. It's in compared to America, it's in poverty. It's a lot of poverty in Brazil. And so these women, okay, there's a different. It's a different culture. I've never been to Brazil, but I have met people from Brazil. It's a completely different culture, and how the women act is different than how the women act here. And you forget that. See, women when you go overseas, many women don't may not have running water. Their parents may rely on their daughters to dress up for the tourist men coming from the States, and they have them buy them drinks and things like that. So you're not so you're not getting this information. This is very important information that I'm sharing with regard to Brazil and things like that. Oh, it's buffering again. I see on the screen. See, it's important because, see, you could be misguided. So you're running in the arms of a woman who might be just using you. I mean, your preference and who you marry is your business. But just be wary of when you go to these, what you call sex, we call it sex tourism, or going to a place like Brazil. And there's many videos I see encouraging black Americans to go to Brazil. But everything is very sexual about what you say. You're not talking about community. You're not talking about, hey, I like how I'm treated here in Brazil. Hey, man, I can bring my community here. You don't hear that. Everything is about um, a female. See, you go into a country as a tourist. You're not living there. And once you live there, you have to get a job. You have to get a home. Where are you going to live? How are these women going to treat you then? You're just visiting. And so they know that you came with money. So what they do in a lot, even in Europe, they do this. Women do. I've been when I was in the military. I saw this. They have this, and you go like a place to get something to drink, and they're not prostitutes per se, but they sit there and they have the American guys buy them drinks, and just talk. Okay, just talk, they say. People and my black community, don't waste your money on some uh, prostitute or woman that, oh, I'm just having drinks with her, and you're paying to talk to her. Wait, don't waste your excuse me, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Use your money to build yourself a home, to help build your community. Stop thinking so short sighted. Stop being short sighted. Encouraging men, black men, to go overseas to spend their hard earned American money on some foreigner when your community is in despair right here. You're in emotional despair in America, and it's sad. I'm very sad. And I shared with you in past videos that I thought about moving from New York City and possibly even moving abroad. That yes, that came to my mind. It's dangerous here, and I'm not finding community here in New York City. Black community here. A sense of community. So I do understand about you when you're in a position to go on vacation and go on places like Brazil. But I just encourage you not to be so short sighted and just go there because you like what the women look like. Okay? Because, looks grow old. And when you got to wake up to somebody in the morning, they may not look good when they wake up. Looks grow old. And you're using your resources for someone who's just using you for your money. That's what I'm getting at. Your money is valuable to these people so they can feed their siblings, their parents. When you go outside of the United States of America, you are dealing with, what do you call it? What's the correct term? Based traditional society. Traditional society includes extended families. You can have your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, uncles living in the same house, your cousins living with you. And so your sense of family are all of them, not just your parents. And they have a sense of duty for these family members. And some might be willing to do anything to bring money to their household, and that includes going out with tourists and have them buy drinks and stuff like that for them. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. I don't want you to go there. And it's a show. They'll do just a show. Give you what you think you want so they can get your money. Be wise how you spend your money, people. You like what you like. If you like this type of tourism, I'm just saying, be careful. Wow. I'm seeing that you cannot, you have to deal with where you are right now. I see a hurting city. Here, America has so much potential. Black America has a lot of potential. Black America, for the first, I have so many representatives now in government, but we're not utilizing it. And we're blaming everybody but ourselves for our predicament. You know, there's places like Chicago. Why doesn't the people of Chicago, why don't they discuss this black on black crime? I'm sorry, all this buffering. So I'm just fixing something on my computer. Okay. Yeah, you gotta ask yourself, why why we have more representation here in America, black representation. We had a black president, Obama. Why didn't things get better for black America? Well, actually, he's not really part of the black community. He's part of the LGBTQ community. We don't really know who his parents are. We're told who his parents are, but I'm even wondering whether that's his mother. I'm really wondering. And he's like someone who just came out of the woodworks. But we really don't know really what's true about him. Why why did they choose someone who's not even living in the black community? He wasn't raised in the black community. Once he got out of grad school, he hooked up to Chicago, where we see the condition of Chicago. So here you have the first so called black president or biracial president, and Chicago's in such a turmoil. How come he didn't go back to Chicago and help his fellow Chicago people? Why is that? Because he's not here to help black people. They are. He utilized the people there. He used them, and then he left. You know, it reminds me of the Clintons, how they used New Yorkers to get um, to be able to vote for senator. To run for senator, Hillary. She gets in. Why we give? It seems like New Yorkers like to give their precious jewels to people who don't deserve it. It's like a pig, throwing your pearls to pigs. Lately, recently, I saw a commercial with Hillary Clinton, and she wants to do what you call the master class. Could you believe this? She wants to teach something. I'm not even sure what she was even promoting, but they wanted you to take a master class with that woman. Why were you? No, she had no shame, and she was pretending to cry. She was Hillary Clinton in that commercial on YouTube for master class. That we should take a master class with her. What do you think she is qualified to teach in a master class? How to be an idiot. She has no shame, in my opinion, in how she conducted herself in the last election that she was running for. She didn't have the decency to come out to her constituents and give her speech. What do you call it when you uh, give your goodbye speech? When you didn't win, you give a little speech that okay, you didn't win. She didn't even come out because she does not have respect for her constituents. She didn't come out. She's very immature. Very immature. And you haven't heard, I didn't hear from Hillary Clinton all of last year. What happened? I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah, that there's just no shame with her. Oh, what was I getting at now? Why did I mention it? um, but yeah, people are. Yeah, in New York City, we give. Well, that's why I said that. Mention her. People from New York City have precious jewels, so to speak, their time and resources, and we just handed it over to anybody who doesn't deserve it. Hillary Clinton did not deserve our vote. She someone they said bought the house that they live in upstate. They would live in upstate New York, not New York City, with her so-called constituents. See, they don't want to live around us, but they want to occupy a seat to just qualify to run for office for that state. They get in. She didn't do anything for New Yorkers. Then she wants to run for president. I don't know. And you notice, interesting, um, when she was running for president, did you notice that she had certain people around her? She had two, at least one distinct person. Uh, I think it was actually her doctor of some kind type. It was a black man. There was also a black female at times directly behind her. So it seems like in American politics, with certain candidate with Democrats, that they'll position a black person right next to them, and who they are, I don't know. So you have black people in America who are in the inside, who are working with high officials, but yet they have no, um, they're not, they're not part of, I mean, they're not like leaders, or maybe, who knows, maybe they are leaders in the black community somewhere. But again, what they're doing, I don't know. I don't know. So you have blacks in who work for people in high positions, and they're not using the knowledge that they're acquiring to help black people who they may live nearby. And I don't understand that. We are, I mean, the force behind the black population in New York, in the United States, we have, how to say this? If you add up all our resources together, we have wealth that is higher than many countries in the world. I think we're about 80 million strong in the United States of America. And we don't know how fortunate we are to live in a place like America. It is far from perfect, America. I love my country though. I love this country because I'm from here. I'm born and raised here. It is far from perfect, and a lot of things has happened to me here. But it's still my home, and I still care about, I care about all people here. Um, but it just, what's happening now does not make any sense, people. The politics here doesn't make any sense. So I guess why I'm mentioning all these different things, like the Hillary, Obama, um, the recent um, voting in our new black governor, I think it's a sign of the time that social decay. Again, it seems like uh, black America is not, they don't love themselves. They don't love their community, and they're using their position as like a watchdog, like you're a bunch of sheep, and these are watchdogs to keep you stranded. They're more concerned about this jibber jab in the arm which is causing a lot of. Did you hear about the miscarriages? Did you hear about the stillbirths? Stillbirth means that your baby is born dead. 60 something stillbirths happened in a 6 month period once this jibber jab got established. Wow. And now in New York City, they made a new mandate that any private business, they have to be vaccinated. And it so figures. Okay, the mayor, the current mayor, just implemented this. And now we're going to get a new mayor, I guess to be sworn in January. And what this is going to mean for us. See that the watchdog? The watchdog is now being loose, will be loose in a few weeks from now. And I'm fearful that, see again, like Chicago and other black dominated cities in population wise, is going to be the demise of the city. That's what I'm sad about. And I wish I can change it. I wish I had a magic formula so that to uh, prevent. I don't want another Chicago. I don't want another Detroit. I don't want another, what is called that? New Orleans. We're getting people in these blacks leaders in these these cities in New York City. I mean, cities in America. But it's its demise. This is a great city I live in. And now the current mayor implementing the private businesses have to be vaccinated. I went in my a bagel store early in the week. He says, "Look, you got to have a mask and us to serve you. If you don't put the mask on, we won't serve you because I'll get a fine if I do if I if you don't." So now they're bullying these small private sector places with a fine if they don't comply. This is bullying. And we have to say, no, I hate this. And you know, I had things happen to me with a bus driver. I filed a complaint and I did follow up on it, and they don't, I'm getting the runaround. I'm supposed to have my time in court. It's supposed to go to court. I also wrote a complaint around regarding the people on the street, the criminals that are on the street. Yeah, they're not answering your complaints. You put in a complaint and you follow, we're busy, or I don't know what happened. So I'm just saying, be very careful, people. Yeah, I can't stay on long. My batteries are running low. Yeah, and I've been on a long time already. Yeah, I'm very sad about the condition of New York City. It's turning into a Chicago. Come on, come on. Okay, looks like it's gonna be on. Okay, it looks like it's going on now, but I don't hear the audio. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Hello, are you still on? Okay, the, the audio doesn't seem to be playing. Okay, wait. Okay, the audio doesn't. Okay, the audio is working. but the counter's not on right now. Okay. Okay. So it's acting up right now. So I'm gonna be getting ready to sign off now. So in short, I'm saying people be aware what's going on around you. The politics is changing. You have people who may look like you, talk like you, but they're not representing you, and they're being put in positions, but they're not really there to represent you, but to keep you in check. Um, I talk about the health, that here in health, you sorry, okay, sorry, yeah, you can do all the right things with your health, but you can still get sick. You can still get clogged arteries. So I have to. Um, I'm researching ways to naturally remove the plaque to prevent stroke or anything like that, heart disease. Um, yeah, it's the signs of the time. And maybe the things that happen in our lives is to really teach us something new, to teach us that I don't know yet. I don't know. But either way, I appreciate you watching. I know this was a long video, and I hope I made sense. This is about food for thought, that you're not alone, and to go within and just use your resources, your mind, your whole strength to improve your situation. We can do this together. There is hope out there. No matter what you see happening in front of you, you stay grounded in your ability to overcome. It's about you overcoming you. So with that all said, I thank you for watching. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Stay safe. Okay? Take care and enjoy your evening. Bye bye.